ஆரம்பிக்கலாமா?
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः, शुभ संध्या। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्। अस्माकं संस्कृतवाणी कार्यक्रमाय सर्वेषां हार्दिकं स्वागतम्। देवं प्रार्थयन् जनान् स्वस्य विश्वेन च सह सम्बन्धता प्राप्तुं साहाय्यं करोति। Zambia sisters Nethra and Manasvini will be rendering prayer song, learning classical music from Shri Kumaran and shlokas from Srimati Padma Mami Kanchipuram. Both have passion for singing. They live in Zambia. Swagatam Bhaginyah.
Namaskaram. Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kamakshi, Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kamakshi, Kamala Manohari, Tripura Sundari, Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kamakshi, Kamala Manohari, Tripura Sundari, Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kamakshi. Kunjaragamane, Kunjaragamane, Manimandita Manjula Charane, Kunjaragamane, Manimandita Manjula Charane, Kunjaragamane, Manimandita Manjula Charane, Kunjaragamane, Manimandita Manjula Charane, Mama Shiva Barjara Suki Pankaja Muki Guru Guharajani Durita Barjani Niranjani Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kamakshi, Kamala Manohari, Tripura Sundari, Kanjalalaya Dakshi, Kamakshi. Rakasa Shivadane, Rakasa Shivadane, Suratane, Rakasa Shivadane, Suratane, Rakshidamadane, Ratna Sadane, Rakasa Shivadane, Suratane, Rashidamadane, Ratna Sadane, Shikanchana Vasane, Surasane, Shagara Shayamandahasane, Shikanchana Vasane, Surasane, Shagara Shayamandahasane, Ekaneka Shri Bhuvaneshwari, Ekanandamrita Shri Bhaswari, Ekakramanolaya Kari Shri Kari, Ekamresha Griheshwari Shankari, Ekaneka Shri Bhuvaneshwari, Ekanandamrita आनंदामृत शरी भास्वरी एकाग्रमनो लय करि श्री करि एकाम्रेश गृहेश्वरी शंकरिका चदलायताक्षी कामाक्षी कमला मनोहरी त्रिपुर सुंदरी कुंजदलायताक्षी कामाक्षी
ஆத்மானுபூதி காயனம் சுந்தரம் பிரஸ்துதி பகின்யா. எப்பவுமே நீங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் பாடும்போது உயிர் உயிர் இருக்குன்னு சொல்லுவோம்ல, அப்படி ஒரு விஷயம். மிஸ்மரைசிங், அவ்வளவு நல்லா இருந்தது. இட் வாஸ் ஃபென்டாஸ்டிக். ஆஸ் யூஷுவல் பிரணாம்ஸ் யுவர் குரு. தன்யவாதः. सुभाषितम् अस्मात् अधिकं नैतिकमूल्यानि ददाति. Ramakrishna Mahodaya will be presenting Subhashitam. Great war veteran Swami Omkaranandasya Shishyaha. Swagatam Mahodaya.
Mute uncle.
Unmute.
Today's Subhashitam is taken from Bhajagovinda. Ma kuru dana jana yavana garvam kalena harati nimeshat sarvam. We should not do certain things. Ma kuru, don't do. Which one? Dana jana yavana garvam. Don't be proud. Don't be arrogant that you are having lot of wealth, riches, properties, that you are having lot of men, adiyatkal, to support you, to come with you in the war. And then don't be very much afraid. They are not afraid of anybody. Ma kuru dana jana yavana garvam. That is, don't be proud of your youthhood. That is, I am very strong, I am very brave, I am very powerful, I have conquered this one, that one, everybody, and all are under my control. Such attitude, that arrogancy should not be there. If you are having such things, you will fall down. The supporting story is Nahusha. Nahusha is son of Ayu. His grandfather was a great king, Pururavas. He has brought under his control all the 7 continents on earth. Likewise, that generation, that dynasty, that is Chandravamsa, were ruling the entire universe happily with the righteous principles. There was no fear, there was no lack of anything. People were happy and prosperous. In that dynasty, what happened? Now Nahusha is coming. That Nahusha is a great warrior. He helped his father Ayu to perform lot of yajnas, to acquire power. And like his grandfather, he has also helped his father to bring the entire 7 continents under his father's control. And after a lapse of time, he became the king. Now what happened? When he was a king, at that time it is said, Shiva and Parvati had a daughter named Ashoka Sundari. She was roaming in the garden to pluck flowers with her maid. So at that time what happened? One demon, Hunda, he saw her. He fell in love. Somehow or other, how a divine lady will love and accept Asura? So she refused. Therefore what happened? That Nahusha, he intervened. He fiercely fought the demon. This demon was creating problem to every devas in the heaven. So he was creating innumerable headaches. They were unable to bear such ferocious attacks. So they were waiting what to do. At that time that Nahusha intervened, he fought fiercely and killed the demon. Thereafter what happened? He was to marry. He married Ashoka Sundari. And one of his son was a famous Yayati, whom we all remember. In the meantime, what happened? There was one Vriddasura. You know, always this Deva and Asura, they always fight. There is no peace of mind in the heaven itself. Even the trinities are disturbed. They cannot perform a meditation. They cannot remain in peace. So this is going on right from the beginning. There is no end for that. Therefore, what happened? That Vriddasura, he has acquired tremendous powers from all the trinities. And he was creating lot of problem for the humanity. So he has stopped the function of Panchabhutas. The fire is not there. The water has been stopped. The air is also not blowing. Like that, he has stopped the powers of all the Panchabhutas. So they were suffering. Human beings were suffering. Even Devatas were afraid. So at that time, it is the duty of the head of the Devatas, that is Indra, to fight. And he had 99 castles. Therefore, what happened? The fierce fighting, it took a very long period. He could not easily kill or succeed, perform victory over that. Therefore, what happened? The Devatas, already having witnessed Nahusha's bravery, they requested him to take over the heaven as Indra. So he happily accepted. He was initially having all the righteous principles, dharmic views. After some time, what happened? All the Devas, they have given their power to him so that he can become very powerful and protect the universe. At that time, suddenly what happened? He was thinking, this is the Asura Guna. He was a righteous person. Suddenly, due to lust, due to pride, due to arrogancy, he wanted to marry Indrani. So what happened? He sent a message that I want to marry Indrani. Indrani was very much upset. Then Devaguru is there. So she approached Brihaspati what to do. Then Brihaspati told, don't worry, I'll give you a plan, you do that accordingly. So through Sasi, wife of Chandra, the message was sent to Nahusha that you come in a palanquin and take her. Then you'll be married. And that palanquin should be carried by all the greatest rishis. Okay, he agreed. And all the greatest rishis were there. And one of them was Vyasa. So he was very short. Others are all tall. But though Vyasa is powerful, unless there is a balance, the palanquin cannot move fast. So in a hurry to meet Indrani, Nahusha told him, Sarpa. Sarpa means in the Sanskrit, some words have a lot of meanings. Sarpa means go fast. Sarpa means serpent also, snake. So Kumbadimba means Vyasa. So you go fast. Kumbadimba, Sarpa. Then he tried to go. Then what happened? He is not able to keep pace with the other rishis who are all powerful and tall. Therefore, Nahusha kicked Vyasa. Then Vyasa got annoyed. Immediately, he cursed Nahusha. Kumbadimba, Sarpa. Nahusha, Sarpa. So he cursed, and that another meaning for Sarpa, apart from fast, is you become serpent. So Nahusha became serpent and he fell down on the earth. And he was to pass a long time to get moksha. Thank you very much. Therefore, we should not be very much proud of your Dana, Jana, Yavana, Garva. That is wealth, youthhood, brave, and supporters. So let us be abiding by this rule. Bhajagovindam. Makuru, Dana, Jana, Yavana, Garvam. Kalena Harati Nvishat Sarvam. All these things will be reversed within a fraction of a second. 1 minute is enough to topple anybody from mountain to valley. Thank you all.
Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. Wonderful message. Every month you are giving a valuable message, and whoever watching, parents especially, they should show this section to their kids. So moral values and wonderful. Thank you so much. Dhanyavadaha Mahodaya. श्रीमती विसाली कृष्णन् अस्माकं सनातन धर्मस्य रक्षणार्थम् अस्माकं समाजस्य सेवां कुर्वन् अस्ति. स्वागतं विशाली जी व संबोधन प्रस्तुत करेंगे. वेलकम.
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। अद्यतनस्य संस्कृतवाणी कार्यक्रमस्य हार्दिक स्वागतम्। अद्यतनं श्रीमती मातंगी महोदय सञ्चालीरूपेण अस्ति। स्वागतं माता। कुमारी नेहा, कुमारी मनस्विनीश्च स्वागतं। यः प्रार्थनागीतम् एतवत् दिव्य गायति स्म। सुभाषितम् अस्य सुवाक्यानि सर्वदा अस्माकं मनः शान्तं कुर्वन्ति। स्वागतं श्री रामकृष्ण महोदय। स्वागतं डॉक्टर सुश्रुता महोदय भगवद्गीता पाठार्थं। स्वागतं अभिनव किडम्बी महोदय यः नरसिंह पुराणं कथयितुं गच्छति। श्लोका प्रार्थं कुमारी नवनीता स्वागतम्। अस्माकं विशेष अतिथि श्रीमती गीता मुथुस्वामीस्य हार्दिक स्वागतम्। शांति मंत्रस्य स्वागतं श्री शिवकुमार महोदय। अद्यतनं कार्यक्रमे पुनः सर्वेषां स्वागतं करोमि।
धन्यवादः विशाली जी. थैंक यू सो मच. डॉक्टर सुश्रुता जी भगवद गीता मूल्यों को प्रस्तुत करेंगे. असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर एट अमृता यूनिवर्सिटी कोयम्बतूर, हैज डन PhD at योगा एंड यज्ञ. स्वागतम सुश्रुता जी.
पुनरपि स्वागतम्. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. Welcome one and all to the continued series of Bhagavad Gita contemplation along with its meaning. We were discussing some of the very important concepts from 6th chapter, where Krishna focuses on Uddhared Atmanatmanam na Atmanam avasadayet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhuhu Atma eva Ripuhu Atmanaha. One has to befriend oneself. One should not make oneself enemy by indulging. And in fact, there are many indications how Krishna says when do we become friends ourselves and enemies by ourselves itself. So, Uddhared Atmanatmanam, after this, Bandhu Atma Atmanaha Tasya Yena Eva Atmana Jitaha Anatmanastu Shatrutve Vartetatve Shatruvat Varteta Atma eva Shatruvat. Atma, self, becomes an enemy when oneself is not one's own control. By this end of the conversation, it says one who is self-controlled is known to be a yogi, and only that person can become friend for oneself who keeps everything in one's control. So with this, he winds up saying what are the fundamental values or fundamental features of a yogi who keeps everything under control. It doesn't mean you are intimidating all your faculties, but you have become master of anything that you have at your disposal for all your functionalities. For example, all the senses, all the mind, all the pranic aspect of your personality, everything is under your control, meaning you are not suppressing, you are not intimidating it, you are not giving freedom to it, but it is basically you have become master of all of them. Whenever you want, the mind thinks. Whenever you want, senses activate. Whenever you want, you are spending energy wherever it is required. That means you have become a master. In fact, other word for this condition of oneself being master of oneself is Swami, okay, or Ishvara. Ishvara is basically a owner of anything. Right now, I have become owner of myself. Therefore, this is the condition we claim as Swami. So, yogi basically is a Swami of one's own all kinds of faculties. So, with this, जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीत उष्ण सुख दुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः ज्ञान विज्ञान तृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्म काञ्चनः. Then सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन मध्यस्थद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिः विशिष्यते. This very small segment within Bhagavad Gita where it features how a yogi is having samabuddhi and vishamabuddhi. Samabuddhi is equal treatment of all kinds of members, be it sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhi vishishyate, and suhrita mitra ari udasina madhyastha dveshya bandhu sadhushu apicha papeshu samabuddhi vishishyate. With all the fellow human beings belonging to different categories, maybe your own enemy, your own relatives, your own well-wisher, and anyone who you treat as a human being, everybody is equal. And also, yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloshta ashma kanchana. There is no difference between stone and the jewels, stone and the diamonds and rest of anything in the world for others when it is very much valuable. So, value for a person when it is between the yogi and a common man, it becomes very huge difference. There is an incident from the biography of Ramana Maharshi where Ramana Maharshi, and in fact this is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's biography, he thinks that stones and the coins are equal. They have no difference at all. As you treat the coins, so you treat the stones as well. And there is one shloka. Mudhaihi pashana khandeshu ratna samjna vidhiyate. So there are only 3 gems: Anna, Jala and Subhashita. Jalam, Annam, Subhashitam. Prithivyam Trini Ratnani Jalam Annam Subhashitam. Mudhaihi Pashana Khandeshu Ratna Samjna Vidhiyate. According to this Subhashita, Prithivyam Trini Ratnani, there are 3 gems. Which are those? Jalam, Annam and Subhashitam. Jalam is water, Annam is food, and Subhashitam is something which can ignite knowledge within, everything is called Subhashita. Don't assume Subhashitas are only in the form of shlokas and in 4 lines in chandas. Anything that can kindle the knowledge within is called Subhashita, Sushtubhashitam, Sadhubhashitam. Something which is helpful, which can increase the level of jnanam, that is called Subhashitam. So, all the mudhas consider even the stones as ratna, but the real ratnas are these 3, Jalam, Annam and Subhashitam. But here, on the other extreme of the knowledge spectrum, the common man and the yogi has even gems for other fellows, and even gem for all the fellow human beings. For yogi, it is the stone and the gem and the money and anything that is available, which is assumed to be more valuable by a common man, becomes an equal like a stone. Samaloshta ashmakanchana. Loshta is a metal. Ashma is the kanchana is the gold. So be it stone, be it metal, be it any other thing, and the same opinion of Krishna regarding a yogi. And then yogi yunita satatam atmanam rahasistita ekaki yatachittatma nirashi aparigraha. This is the 11th shloka of 6th chapter, where he says yogi yunita here exactly means unite, or you have to synchronize. Yogi yunita satatam, all the time, continuously. Atmanam rahasistita. Rahasi is secret. In secret, that doesn't mean you go and hide in caves. Here, rahasistita is, it is secret for others. It is self-inquiry into oneself. Rahasistita ekaki yatachittatma nirashi aparigraha. So, ekaki, this is very, very important. Into only chit chat and thoughts, even study also happens.
ஜி ஒண்ணுமே கேட்கல, எதுவுமே கிளியரா இல்ல.
Happen only individual. In fact, you can see it as ekaki rahasistita in Hadeva Pradip. So, Hadeva Pradip also says you have to stay away from common conversations happening around.
Can it be posted later after checking the technical issue?
All the mundane things, low level intellectuals come together and discuss about only things.
சுந்தரகிருஷ்ணன் ஜி
Ankar, very, very ekaki,
இருக்கலாங்க.
என்ன விஷாலிஜி?
அது ஒண்ணுமே கிளியராவே கேட்கல.
ஓகே, எங்க நான் யூடியூப்ல கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கேன், சரியா வருது.
இது யாருக்குமே எதுவுமே கேட்கல. I think there is some problem.
அச்சா, ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
That when you are trying to
okay.
contemplate on yourself, there should not be any other kind of distractions, talking about somebody else, talking about something other, deviating subjects. Therefore, only when you can invest your mind, mental, psychological, intellectual energy towards yourself, that is the outcome of being ekaki. And it is very important to know why you are being ekaki, why you are separately staying. Ekakitvam also you need to understand. Otherwise, there are many other negative consequences. Depression.
Let me
Types
again
of
share it.
phobias. When we analyze in psychology, there are types of phobias. When you are alone, there are desires coming up, unnecessary focus on the desires.
It's audible.
The audio is coming in, huh?
ஆமா வருது திருப்பி ப்ளே பண்ணிடுங்க அதை கண்டினியூ பண்ணிடுங்க.
Okay, just a second. I am resharing it.
Krishna regarding a yogi, and then yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha ekaki
video there is something problem.
பரவாயில்ல ஆடியோ
11th
Audio
shloka
okay.
of 6th chapter, where he says yogi yunjita here exactly means unite, or you have to synchronize. Yogi yunjita satatam, all the time, continuously. Atmanam rahasi sthita. Rahasi is in secret place. That doesn't mean you go and hide in the caves. But here rahasi sthita is, it is secret for others, but it is self-enquiry into oneself. Rahasi sthita ekaki yatachittatma nirashihi aparigraha. So ekaki, this is very, very important. In group, only chit chat and gossips, and in fact even study also happens in group. But sadhana should happen only by an individual. In fact, you can see this ekaki rahasi sthitaha even in Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So Hatha Yoga Pradipika also says you have to stay away from common conversations happening around the money, happening around the power, happening around the position, happening around all the mundane things. Generally, when low level intellectuals come together and discuss about only things which boost their ahankar. Basically, ekaki is you have to seclude yourself for a reason, that when you are trying to contemplate on yourself, there should not be any other kind of distractions, talking about somebody else, talking about something other, deviating subjects. Therefore, only when you can invest your mind, mental, psychological, intellectual energy towards yourself, that is the outcome of being ekaki. And it is very important to know why you are being ekaki, why you are separately staying. Ekakitvam also you need to understand. Otherwise, there are many other negative consequences. One may go even to depression. There are types of phobias. When we analyze in psychology, there are types of phobias. When you are alone, there are desires coming up, unnecessary focus on the desires, unnecessary contemplation on something what is not very much required for anyone. Therefore, ekaki, on a positive side, knowing the destination of realizing oneself is positive. When we do not know, like empty mind is devil's workshop, ekakitvam in that case is very, very dangerous. So ekaki yatachittatma, Chitta and Atma. Yata is master of Chitta and Atma, Chitta, Manas, and all the other components of our personality. Nirashihi aparigraha. Ashihi, without any ashas, without any compelling and impulsive desires to fulfill there and then. Nirashihi aparigraha. Aparigraha is also very much value here. You should not accumulate more and more and more, that you start worrying about your own accumulation and your accumulated property maintaining. This is what is yoga and kshema. Yoga is apraptasya praptihi, kshema is praptasya rakshanam. You did not have a property till now. When you have that property, it is an added responsibility. You have to protect it. You have to secure it for your usage later. So, procurement and protection of what you have accumulated are the two burdens when you own something. So, nirashihi aparigraha, without any asha. In fact, these are very, very easy to describe. Nirashihi, oh, don't be with all the desires. But it is quite challenging to be nirashihi and aparigraha. Aparigraha is a great value, and very recently I have come across one of the Swamijis I met very long ago. His name is Siddheshwara Swamiji from Bijapur. Even after he left his physical body, there was no ashram, there was no property that he owned. In fact, once he sits for satsang, lakhs of people used to come every time. But he did not make any ashram, he did not have any ownership, and there was nothing. Even though there was a trust, he did not have any active position. So he seems to be, in fact, a parigraha follower in the very recent days. There are many masters, there are many, our own relatives, we have to recognize them. They use whenever the resources are needed. Whenever the resources are not required, they will not accumulate and they will not consume as well. Aparigraha is a great value, and this is the fifth yama. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. In the Ashtanga Yoga, Aparigraha becomes very, very important feature, important value to have in the life of yogi. So we will contemplate on the other features of yogi and yoga in the upcoming conversations. Sarvebhyaha namamsi. Om Shanti.
Dhanyavadaha, Sushrutha ji. Lots and lots of values given by Bhagavad Gita, and you're explaining so well. But I don't know where we have failed to follow all that, and we are like maybe this is Kaligala, we don't know. So that's why we are having so much suffering. Hopefully, let us all try to follow a little. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much. Kumari Navneetha, Durga Chandrakala Sthuti Paat Karishyati. Appaya Deekshadhar Durga Chandrakala Sthutim Prati Bhashyam Likitavat Asti. This shloka describes the beauty and fame of goddess Ambal, as how she had decorated her head with 16 beautiful Chandrakala. Kumari Navneetha is interested in learning music, Veena and Samskrita Bhasha, learning shlokas, kirtanas from Srimati Padma Mami, learning Veena from Srimati Vijaya Mami Kanchipuram, Tevaram from Sri Ram Parasuram from Chennai, learning Shastriya Sangeetam from Srimati Sri Vidya Mami Chennai. Swagatam Navneetha.
Namaskaram. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. श्रीमद् अप्पय दीक्षितकृतं दुर्गा चन्द्रकला स्तुति स्तोत्रम्। उमाकान्ते रमाकान्ते येषामासीत् मतिस्तमान् नमामि दीक्षितेन्द्रान् स्थान् नयषट्कविशारदान् वेदो हरीश्वरस्तुत्यां विहर्त्रीं विन्द्यभूधरे हरप्राणेश्वरीं वन्दे हन्त्रीं विबुधविद्विषाम् अभ्यर्थनेन सरसीरुहसम्भवस्य त्यक्तोदिता भगवतः क्षिपिधानलीलाम् विश्वेश्वरी पदपागमने पुरस्तात् प्राङ्निर्जरेषु निहितैर्निजशक्तिलेशैः एकीभवद्विरुदिताखिल लोकगुप्त्यैः सम्पन्नशस्त्रनिकराजतदायुधस्तैः माता ममास्तु महिषान्तकरी पुरस्तात् प्रालेलशैलतनया तनुकान्ति सम्पत् कोशोदिता कुवलयच्छविचारुदेहा नारायणी नमदभीप्सितकल्पवल्ली सुप्रीतिमावहतु शुम्भनिशुम्भहन्त्री विश्वेश्वरीति महिषान्तकरीति यस्याः नारायणीत्यपि च नामभिरङ्कितानि सूक्तानि पङ्कजभुवा च सुरश्रिभिश्च दृष्टानि पावकमुखैश्च शिवां भजेताम् उत्पत्तिदैत्यहनन स्तवनात्मकानि संरक्षकाण्यखिलभूतहिताय यस्याः सूक्तान्यशेषनिगमान्तविधः पठन्ति तां विश्वमातरमजस्रमभीष्टवीमी ये वै प्रचित्तपुनरुत्थितशुम्भमुख्यैः दुर्भिक्षघोरसमयेन चकारितासु आविष्कृता त्रिजगदार्तिषु रूपभेदाः तैरम्बिका समभिरक्षतु मां विपद्भ्यः सूक्तं यदीयमरविन्दभवादिदृष्टम् आवर्त्य देव्यनुपदम् सुरतः समाधिः द्वावप्यवापतुरभीष्टमनन्यलभ्यम् तामादिदेवतरुणीं प्रणमामि देवीम् माहिष्मतीतनुभवं च रुरुं च हन्तुम् आविष्कृतैर्निजरसादवतारभेदैः अष्टादशाहत नवाहत कोटिसङ्ख्यैः अम्बा सदा समभिरक्षतु मां विपद्भ्यः एतच्चरित्रमखिलं लिखितं हि यस्याः सम्पूजितं सदन एव निवेशितं वा दुर्गं च तारयति दुस्तरमप्यशेषं श्रेयः प्रयच्छति च सर्वमुमां भजेताम् यत्पूजनस्तुति नमस्कृतिभिर्भवन्ति प्रीता पिता महरमेशहरास्त्रयोऽपि तेषामपि स्वकगुणैर्दधतीं वपुंषीं तामीश्वरस्य तरुणीं शरणं प्रपद्ये कान्तारमध्यदृढलग्नतया वसन्ना मग्नाश्च वारिति जले रिपुभिश्च रुद्धाः यस्या प्रपद्य चरणौ विपदस्तरन्ती सा मे सदास्तु हृदि सर्वजगत्सवित्री बन्धे बधे महति मृत्युभये प्रसक्ते वित्तक्षये च विविधे च महोपतापे यत्पादपूजनमिह प्रतिकारमाहुः सा मे समस्तजननी शरणं भवानी बाणासुरप्रहितपन्नगबन्धमोक्षः तद्बाहुदर्पदलना दुषया च योगः प्राद्युम्निना धृतमलभ्यत यत्प्रसादात् सा मे शिवा सकलमप्यशुभं क्षिणोतु पापः पुलस्ततनयः पुनरुत्थितो माम् अद्यापि अर्तुमयमाहत इत्युदितम् यत्सेवनेन भयमिन्दिरयावदूतं तामादिदेवतरुणीं शरणं गतोऽस्मि यद्ध्यानजं सुखमवाप्यमनन्तपुण्यैः साक्षात् तमच्युत परिग्रहमाश्ववापुः गोपाङ्गनाखिल यदर्चन पुण्यमात्रात् सा मे सदा भगवती भवतु प्रसन्ना रात्रिं प्रपद्य इति मन्त्रविदः प्रपन्नात् उद्बोध्य मृत्युवधि मन्यफलैः प्रलोभ्य बुद्ध्वा च तद्विमुखताम् प्रतनं नयन्तीम् आकाशमादिजननीं जगतां भजेताम् देशकालेषु दुष्टेषु दुर्गा चन्द्रकला स्तुतिः सन्ध्ययोरनुसन्ध्येया सर्वापद्विनिवृत्तये धन्यवादः.
A big appreciation for the pronunciation first. Excellent pronunciation first. The dedication. A guru always teaches sincerely. It is, we the students know, we have to take it up. This shows the dedication. Dhanyavadaha Navneetha, you are always a gem for our program. No doubt in that. And our pranams to Padma Mami. And I'm hearing this Shloka for the first time. So when I saw this in the invitation, then quickly I went to the internet and I saw. So, Dhanyavadaha. Thank you, Kanna. ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. ரொம்ப
எக்ஸலென்ட் ரெண்டிஷன். கண்ணா நானும் படிச்சேன் இத. பட் ஒன்னளவு அழகா என்னால சாண்ட் பண்ண முடியுமான்னு தெரியல. எக்ஸலென்ட்மா. ஹேட்ஸ் ஆஃப் டு யூ. ஹேட்ஸ் ஆஃப். While at Delhi I learned this. Thank you. Thank you da.
Especially the pronunciation, no. I admired a lot. Dhanyavadaha Navneetha. God bless you, Kanna. Shri Abhinav Kidambi will continue the series Narasimha Purana, practitioner of Yoga Shastra, MTech in Medical Nanotechnology, MA Sanskrit, and currently doing his PhD research in Sanskrit, teaches Sanskrit Yoga Shastra, Indian philosophy, Indian culture and heritage. Swagatam Mahodaya.
Namaste, am I audible? Yes, okay.
Yes.
One moment, I'll share my screen. Just one moment, please. Can you please? Yeah. Yes. Perfect. Can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
We have not. Screen is not.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, now it's coming.
Yes. If you remember from the previous session, I was writing out so many of these details as if you were able to remember everything. That was I mean, I do understand the difficulty in sitting for such sessions because I'm an eternal student. I know how it feels to sit on the other side and listen to someone while they're constantly giving terms and not remembering any of these terms. So after the session was over, I felt very guilty because if I were sitting in front of me, I would not have understood anything. So what I tried to do was make a very simple chart based on the genealogy and the entire Srishti Krama that was given in the Narasimha Purana. Before we go into this and I start describing everything, please remember that the Narasimha Purana is an Upapurana. It is not the mainstream Purana which is studied by everybody. Mahapuranas such as Bhagavata, Garuda, these kinds of Puranas will give you more details. The Narasimha Purana, to an extent, seems to repeat many of these details from these other Mahapuranas. And the chart that I will be showing you, I made this as a study aid for myself, but I realize it can also be useful for you. So please remember that this is not some kind of official communication that is being given by some fellow who has memorized everything from the Narasimha Purana or the Purana itself. This is just the study notes of a fellow student, which is going to be shown on the screen today. So if you remember from the previous session, I told you that from Sriman Narayana, Brahmadeva or Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma is coming out. And this Chaturmukha Brahma first is engaging in Srishti. So when he's going to engage in Srishti, he was told to start with Srishti. And so first there was tamas. If you can see on the screen in the center, first there was tamas, which is actually called Ajnana. Then there was moha, confusion. Then maha moha, which is supposed to be bhogecha. This is the desire to enjoy material pleasure. Tamisra. Tamisra is the next type of tamas, which is associated with krodha. Andhatamisra. This is called abhinivesha. If you look very closely, because Sushrutha ji spoke about yoga, he spoke about Bhagavad Gita, all that, and if you have some background in Darshana Shastra, you will immediately notice that these are equivalents of the Pancha Kleshas. Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhiniveshaha, Kleshaha. That is the sutra in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. So here also we notice some kind of a parallel, some correspondence that is being seen here. Ajnana is equivalent to avidya. Moha seems to be equivalent to asmita. Bhogecha equivalent to raga. Krodha equivalent to dvesha. So for those who think that dvesha is different from krodha, Vyasa in his Bhashya to the Yoga Sutra is very clearly mentioning that krodha and dvesha are supposed to be synonymous in nature. So if you go to see it in the commentary, you will understand this. Abhinivesha is the last one. What are these five? Avidya is not knowing the difference between truth and untruth, or rather real and untruth, something like that, real and unreal, or mistaking the impermanent to be permanent, that is the temporary to be permanent. That is the simplest way to see it. Avidya, that is what avidya is. Moha is some kind of confusion. This confusion is basically associated with wrongful identification, asmita. Mahamoha, which is bhogecha, is basically raga, that is the desire to experience, desire to enjoy. Tamisra is krodha, that is dvesha, as I've told you. This is something that you experience when what you desire is not received by you. When we want to have ice cream, and somebody, just when we have received the ice cream in the hand, somebody has forcefully pushed it out of your hands, how would you feel? You would feel angry. That krodha is what you experience when you are deceived from experiencing that bhoga, that raga. Then we see there is something called Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha is Andhatamisra. This is that fear of death. So very interestingly, the concepts or the basic principles that you see as part of the Yoga Sutras is mentioned here directly. So we see that very beautifully mentioned. These are the 5 great tamas, which comes from Brahmadeva himself. So this comes from Brahma. It does not come later, it comes in the beginning. That is the beauty here. Only after that there is a description of the different types of srishtis. That is, there are 3 types of srishtis which are described. Prakrita Sarga. Sarga means srishti. Okay, Sarga means srishti. Prakrita Sarga, Vaikrita Sarga, Kaumara Sarga. These are the 3 types of Sarga, the srishtis, which are associated with Brahmadeva. They are supposed to be in some chronological order. First is Prakrita Sarga, then Vaikrita Sarga, then we have Kaumara Sarga. This Prakrita Sarga is the time when we have Mahat, Tanmatras, and Vaikarika or Aindriyaka. This is what is given in the text. So if you want to understand what they are, if you have a background in Sankhya Shastra, you have studied the basics of Sankhya, you will remember that the process of evolution of the entire universe begins with Pradhana, Mula Prakriti or Avyakta. Please don't worry about these terms if you don't understand anything. These are all certain ideas. These are certain concepts. Even if you understand, well and good. If you don't understand, just keep it in your mind. Next time you are coming across these principles somewhere else, you will understand it better. So please don't feel overwhelmed by the terms I'm using. Please don't worry about it. So first, we have something known as Pradhana or Mula Prakriti or Avyakta. From there, we have Mahat. From Mahat, we have Ahankara. From Ahankara, we get the different types of them, different combinations that will come. We have the Indriyas, we will have the Bhutas, the Tanmatras and the Bhutas. So totally, you have a certain number of different tattvas, different types of first principles. When all these principles come together, the final product is the universe, the material universe. And the material universe, when it is being allocated as a place of stay for the Purusha. Purusha is nothing but Atma according to Vedanta. In Vedanta, it is called Jivatma or Jiva or Atma. In Sankhya and Yoga, it is called Purusha. That is the only difference. Okay. Now, when this Atma is going to come or the Purusha is going to come, these are the things which are necessary for it. It is like building one settlement before anyone comes and sits inside or stays there. So this is a settlement, this kind of a place to stay. Then we have Sthavara. So Vaikarika is a reference to the evolution of the Indriyas, and things associated with the Indriyas. That is the Panchamahabhutas, the Pancha Tanmatras and the Indriyas seem to be referred to here in Vaikarika. Then the next step which we see in Vaikrita Sarga is Thavara, Tiriyak Srota, Urdhva Srota, Arvak Srota, and Anugraha Sarga. It is not very clear. They have not mentioned the details of this. Perhaps when we go deeper into other Puranas, if we go into the Pancharatra or the Vaikhanasa Agamas, we may come to know. I am also equally a student as you are, so I can only share what I know. In Sthavara literally that which is stationary. Stationary meaning it could be a reference to plants. This is called Mukhya Sarga, important Srishti. Tiriyak Srota. Tiriyak meaning parallel to the ground. So, Tiriyag Yoni Sarga. This refers to all the animals which are going to be having a spine parallel to the ground. Urdhva Srota, referring to perpendicular to the ground. So, these are all the animals which will walk upright. What animals walk upright other than human and non-human primates? Nobody else. Only humans and non-human primates, a few of them, they walk upright. When I say non-human primates, I am referring to animals such as what we can see today as orangutans, chimpanzees, and the like. Arvak Srota, these are supposed to be also something very similar. This is Manusha Sarga. So these are human beings. Human beings are being shown here. So remember, Sthavara, plants we have in the beginning. Then we have those which have a parallel to the ground. Spine is parallel to the ground. Then we have those with spines perpendicular to the ground. And finally, we have human beings coming up. So if you notice very clearly, this is basically their understanding of human evolution. They are presenting one kind of an evolutionary process. Then there is something known as Anugraha Sarga and finally Rudra Sarga. Anugraha Sarga probably is associated with the human being trying to reach to the next stage of evolution. So there is a next stage of evolution. I think it is a reference to the process of yoga, the process of taking up some sadhana, some anushthana, going towards a higher goal. Perhaps this is what they're trying to say. I can only speculate. I do not have the concrete details. I could not see any commentary on this. Therefore, I cannot tell you anything concretely. Finally, there is Rudra Sarga, which is also called Kaumara Sarga. Seems to be a reference to some pralaya, some kind of a pralaya formation. Because usually Rudra is associated with pralaya. Then, what do we see? We see that Brahmadeva, suddenly in his lap, when he was having his eyes closed, there was a child which was constantly crying, it seems. And he asked this child, "Who are you?" Then the child said, "You only give me a name." And Brahmadeva looks at him and says, "Because you are crying." Crying is Rodana. Rodana is the noun form of crying. In Sanskritam, Rodana comes from the root Rud. From Rud, we have the word Rudra. And what happened? Rudra eventually split into 11 Rudras. Actually, he made himself into male and female. So the male form became 11 Rudras. They are given in the form of the names in that list. Ajay Kapad, Ahir Budhnya, Kapali, Rudra, Hara, Bahurupa, Triambaka, Aparajita, Vrishakapi, Shambhu, Kapardi, Raivata. These are the 11 Rudras, Ekadasha Rudras. These are the 11 Rudras, and according to the tradition which they are presenting here, each Rudra is supposed to have one Rudrani, one female consort. So the form which separated into female, it had Rudras. Okay, the first one is Rudra. This is masculine form, Pullinga form. Rudra is feminine form. This Rudra became 11 consorts for Rudra. So apparently the child, before it was separated into male and female, it had both male and female properties. Okay, it had both male and female properties, and then only it became these. This is actually a very interesting perspective. If somebody is interested in going into the research of this, you will notice that many such examples do exist. Many such examples exist in terms of how one Devata separated itself or himself or herself into a male and a female form. This is very commonly found. When you come to the context of Ardhanarishwara form, we see that we see Shiva and Parvati coming together. But here, this is a separation. That is the beauty here. So both separation and union are both to be seen here as a beautiful concept. Now, what happened was Brahma wanted to start with creating the entire cosmos, or he wanted to manifest the entire cosmos. So first he gave rise to Sanaka and Narada. Sanaka and his 3 brothers, and Narada, Sanat Kumara, the 4 brothers. Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumaras, they are the 4 brothers. And then Narada was born. All these 5 people, they chose the path of Nivritti. They did not want to engage in manifesting the universe. They wanted to take up something to do with Nivritti, letting go of everything. They went into rigorous asceticism. All of them are the mind-born sons of Brahmadeva. They are all Manasa Putras. Narada is known as the Brahma Manasaputra. Sanaka and the other three, that is the Sanat Kumaras, are also known as Brahma Manasaputras. Because these people decided to go against the wishes of Brahmadeva, Brahmadeva was now forced to use his energy to create other people. Who are these other people? They are the ones who are going to engage in pravritti. These people who are now going to take the path of pravritti are given here. There may be a few mistakes here and there, but I hope that you will forgive me. Some names are here and there, because if you see, in Nivritti I have mentioned Narada, and Pravritti also I have mentioned Narada. There is a mistake here. So here and there are mistakes. I do apologize. Looking at these names, you will notice that Marichi, Atri, Angiras, Pulaha, Kratu, Pulastya, Pracheta, Bhrigu, and Vasishtha. So these, how many names? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the 9 names. These are the 9 rishis who are Brahma Manasaputras. They are also known as the Nava Brahmas. They are also known as Nava Brahmas. 9 Brahmas. They are going to take up the role of Brahma because they are going to expand the population. Then we go back to Brahmadeva. Now taking his right thumb and left thumb, he is creating something. Right thumb is Daksha Prajapati. Left thumb is his wife. The name is not given in the Purana directly, but still we can guess. As we go forward, if you do a cross study with other texts, you will understand. Daksha Prajapati and his wife give birth to Swayambhuva Manu, the first Manu. If you remember the Sankalpa that we say every day, in that we see that right now it is Vaivasvata Manu, that is the Manu of this time. But the first Manu is called Swayambhuva Manu. And this Swayambhuva Manu had to give birth to children. So he was given a wife by Brahmadeva himself. So just look at this line. I hope you can trace my cursor. You can see that there is this one which is going, it is going to the left. As you go forward, then you see there is Shatarupa. Shatarupa and Swayambhuva Manu, they are giving birth to many children. And of these children, there are 3 children who are male. 2 of them are male, 1 is female. The female child is called Prasuti. Interestingly, Prasuti is one who is born out of good delivery, well born. Prasuti meaning one who is well born. Then we have 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapada. If you are familiar with some amount of Purana, Uttanapada, you probably can again trace it back to some Vaishnava Purana Kathas. Anyway, I'm not going there because that is not mentioned here in the chapter. Now, what happens to this Prasuti is, she is now marrying her grandfather, paternal grandfather, Daksha Prajapati. And okay, so before you come to some conclusions about the ethics of it, the morality associated with marrying your granddaughter, please remember, we are trying to understand the ethics and morality, or whatever is called dharma and adharma, of an age which is very far away from our times. Today, whatever is right or whatever is legal may have been illegal just 20 years ago. Whatever was legal 100 years ago is probably illegal today. Therefore, to assume that we are great judges of dharma and adharma without even understanding the way dharma and adharma changes in its form is something that is childish in nature. So, here in this context, they are saying that Daksha Prajapati is marrying his own maternal granddaughter, paternal granddaughter, Prasuti. And Prasuti and Daksha Prajapati give rise to 24 daughters. And there are also 2 sons. The 2 sons are called Matarishva and Satyavan. I do not know if it is the same Satyavan with Savitri. I do not know. I don't think so. Probably that is a different Satyavan. Because in the lineage, if you look at the Valmiki Ramayana, the Balakanda, you see a lineage which is being mentioned. I do not know if in that lineage directly this connection is mentioned. Anyway, coming back to this, there are 24 daughters of Daksha Prajapati and Prasuti, of which 13 daughters are going to be given to Dharma. Dharma probably is a reference to Dharma Raja or Dharma itself. Dharma is probably the personification of Dharma, or it is a reference to Dharma Raja. We do not know the lineage of Dharma, but it is just mentioned as Dharma. Dharmam, that is all that is given. Dharmaya or Dharmam is given. So we know that it is masculine in nature because of the grammatical property. Otherwise, we do not know whose child Dharma was or what responsibility Dharma had. 13 daughters, the names are given here: Shraddha, Lakshmi, Dhriti, Tushti, Pushti, Medha, Kriya, Buddhi, Lajja, Vapu, Shanti, Siddhi, and Kirti. If you look very closely at the meanings of these 13 daughters' names, you will notice that they are all associated with some kind of characteristic feature of sadhakas, or what is expected in people with high amount of sattva guna. So you realize that something to do with personification of dharma is given here in order to give us some kind of metaphor. Perhaps these 13 daughters along with dharma formed some metaphor, and the child they had was kama, etc. That is the beauty here. The connection that we see here is kama should have its roots in dharma. Perhaps that kind of a reasoning they wanted to give. If you always observe, stories are better remembered compared to abstract principles. A common man will not remember Shastra that well, but will be able to remember a story very well. So if you say something related to Mahabharata, you will remember. But if I take an abstract shloka and try to explain, give an exposition on it, the common man may not be able to remember. Of course, if you are a Shastri or if you are a Shastradhyayi, that is a different story. But I am talking about the common man. So perhaps this was an attempt to explain to the common man that dharma has these vibes and dharma only is the parent of kama. Perhaps that was the intention. Then we see Sambhuti, another daughter. This Sambhuti, she is marrying somebody called Marichi. Marichi is one of the Navabrahmas. And Marichi and this person called Sambhuti, they gave birth to Kashyapa. Kashyapa is that Prajapati, Kashyapa Prajapati perhaps. And so this Kashyapa, he is marrying somebody, and that story is going on. We will see he is marrying one of the daughters. We will see once again later. But let us not get carried away. Another daughter is Anasuya. Anasuya, obviously, you probably can guess that she married Atri. See Atri here. She married Atri. Atri and Anasuya gave birth to 3 sons: Soma, Durvasa, and Dattatreya. You probably know this already. Soma referring to Chandra, Durvasa referring to the Durvasa, Dattatreya, the combined form of Trimurtis. And Soma, because he had some marital relationship or physical relationship with somebody, he gave birth to Buddha, etc. You probably know this from Jyotisha and some Purana stories as well. Coming back to this lineage, we see Smriti, who is marrying Angiras. Smriti is one of the daughters of Daksha Prajapati and Prasuti, by the way, if you don't remember. And this Smriti is marrying whom? She is marrying Angiras. Smriti and Angiras gave birth to 4 children: Sini, Vali, Kuhu, Raka, Anumati. Not much is given after this regarding their lineage, but it is understood that somewhere else the lineage may have been explained and detailed further. This is about Smriti. Now there are a few names which are hanging. They are not explained at all. Preeti, Kshama, Sannati, Satya, Urja, Khyati. It feels to me as a researcher that perhaps they had some idea about how to connect these 6 names with some kind of a metaphor associated with either dharma or something to do with artha. Because Preeti and Urja and Khyati, these 3 are associated with Rajas. these three, somehow or the other, you will notice that they are properties that are associated with Kshatriyas. So perhaps they wanted to bring in something to do with Artha or Raja Dharma and so on. Perhaps they tried, but it was an incomplete effort. This is my researcher mind talking. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please ignore what I have just said. Then we have two more daughters. One daughter is called Swaha. Another daughter is called Swadha. You probably remember the word Swaha. Whenever we do a homa, we say the word Swaha. The word Swadha is uttered whenever we do some kind of Pitru Karma. So let us see where Swaha is going. Swaha is going here. This line is going here. He is married. Agni. Who is this Agni? Agni is the son of Brahma. So Brahma gave birth to Agni, Manasaputra, and Swaha married Agni. And what do we see? They have three sons. So Swaha and Agni have three sons. The names are not given there. And these three sons, the names as in the names of their wives is not given. The first son is called Pavaka. Second son is called Pavamana. Third son is called Shuchi. All three are associated with purification. Pavaka means one who purifies. Pavamana, one associated with purification. Shuchi is purification itself. And each of these children gave birth to 15 children. So, Agni has three sons and the three sons have 15 children each. Therefore, 45 grandchildren, three sons and Agni. That is 49 of these individuals together are considered to be one group apparently. 49 Agnis. This is what they have a collective name. Okay. Then we have Swadha. What is Swadha doing? Swadha is here. So Swadha is going and marrying someone. She is marrying the Pitrus. Pitrus are also the Manasa Putras of Brahmadeva. Pitrus and Swadha, they have two daughters, Mena and Dharini. Pitrus are given in plural form. That is why I have given it as in plural form. Perhaps it is metaphorical in nature. Mena and Dharini could also be certain metaphorical interpretations. I do not know much because not much is elaborated in the shlokas directly. Now we know that all these daughters have been given up in marriage. So 24 daughters, of which 6 of them are hanging here without any partner. We do not know. Maybe they left without marriage. We do not know. Okay. Now let us see somewhere else. We will go back upstairs here.
Yeah,
We see.
Abhinavji, actually, time is running. We have one more speaker
Okay.
also. Shall we continue in the next session? Yeah.
All right, sure. I think I will stop here. I hope I am making sense now after a long time. I hope you are able to understand even a little bit. With that, I think I will stop here. Thank you so much. Namaste. See you in the next session.
Dhanyavada, Abhinavji. I also read one information, I don't know, in a book where Brahma created Saraswati, then he had a desire, then Marichi comes and tells him this is not the right act, and Brahma leaves his Rupam and he takes another Rupam. Like that, I read in one book. I don't know. So when you're saying all this now, I just wanted to ask you.
There are many narrations like these. The curse that we have today is that many of these Puranas are not studied by us. And the disadvantage is all these books are nowadays written by Western scholars or Westernized scholars. And therefore, whenever they are writing the translations, most of them do not give clarity regarding the entire subject. They will say something related to Kama, but perhaps it was not Kama itself. Perhaps there was something else in the background. It was all metaphorical, perhaps.
Okay. Even the names also, as you said, I read that Anumati, Nimmadi, Viswasam. Then one name, Thirudan, it's given in Tamil. I don't know, or it is Thirudan. I don't know. But I heard few names what you said today. Dhanyavadaha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Asmakam Mukhya Atithim Srimati Geetha Muthuswamy. Hardikam Swagatam. Mata will be presenting Athmarpana Sthuthi by Appaya Deekshadhar, professionally qualified homeopathy doctor, Much interested in Tamil, had written many Kavita and Kavya. திருக்குறள் ஆர்வலர் புதுக்குறள் 300 எழுதியிருக்கிறார். ஸ்வாகதம் மாதா.
Sarvebhyo mama Vinayshila Namaskaraga. I'm afraid I'll be short of time. I'll just give the introduction today and continue some other time. Sarvebhyo mama Vinayshila Namaskaraga punaga. Aham Samskritasya mahan vidvan nasti chhatra evam edam bhasham ruchipurvakam sikshate. Adya aham mahavidwan Shri Appaya Deekshadhar Athmarpana Sthuthi Vishaye Bhashanam datum ichchami. अस्मिन् विषये ये विद्वान् पूर्णे सभायां मम भाषणं शृणुतः यदि किमपि दृढि अस्ति चेत् मम संशोधनं कुर्वन्तु. अप्पय दीक्षितः शिवस्य च अम्पालस्य अतीव भक्तः आसीत्. सः 15 शतके वेलूर समीपे विरिञ्जिपुरे जन्म प्राप्नोत्. To be exact, 1520 to 1593 he lived, and in the last told about the one or books he had written. He has written so many. இந்த சந்திரகலா சோஸ்திரம் நீங்க சொன்னது கூட அவரோட தான். ஏகப்பட்ட சோஸ்திரங்களும் எழுதியிருக்கார், நிறைய புஸ்தகங்களும் எழுதியிருக்கார். நம்மளோட அந்த 3 சமயங்கள் இருக்கு இல்லையா, துவைதம், அத்வைதம் அண்ட் விசிஷ்டாத்வைதம். இந்த 3லயும் அஸ்மாகம் த்ரயபி வேதாந்த சத்வானி அத்வைதம் விசிஷ்டாத்வைதம் துவைதம் இது விஷய தேன புஸ்தகானி லிகிதானி சந்தி. ஏகஸ்மின் சமயம் ஒன்ஸ் வந்து அவருக்கு ட்ரூ பிராமின், ட்ரூ பக்தா, அவர் வந்து இடது கையால தான் எல்லாருக்கும் ஆசீர்வாதம் பண்ணுவாராம். உடனே திம்மப நாயக்கர்னு ஒரு இவரோட ராஜாவோட கஸ்டடியில் தான் அவர் இருந்தார். ஹி வாஸ் தி கோர்ட் பிரபு ஆஃப் தட் இது. அப்போ somebody who was jealous of him went and complained to Raja, how come he blesses you with the left hand? He is arrogant about his knowledge. So irpale apdi. So you know what he said, for a true Brahmin right hand la vande agni irukku, so I cannot bless you with agni, it will burn you. So they didn't believe it first. They brought a picture, or screen la vande Raja oda picture kondu vanda. He blessed and it got fired. So adukapparam it was proven. So everybody appreciated his zeal and knowledge, and that was how he was appreciated. Spashtam kartum se ekasmin samaye sir bhakti vishaye samshayam kartum arabdavan. avarku vandu tannathaane oru doubt, enna na eppodume bhaktimana illa sometimes I will change an behosha irukumbodhu, that is when I am not with my senses, how will I behave அப்படின்னு பாக்கிறதுக்காக இந்த ஊமத்தம் பூன்னு தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவா. அதுக்கு சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல ஏதோ ஒன்று படிச்சேன், ஞாபகம் இல்லை. ஊமத்தம் காய வந்து அது இட் இஸ் பாய்சனஸ். அது வந்து டெம்பரரியா மெமரி லாஸையும் ஒரு மிஸ்பிஹேவியரையும் கொடுக்கக்கூடியது scientifically. So he had that kashayam, preparing an antidote of it. He kept it with his sishyas and he told them, நான் வந்து இந்த பேஹோஷா இருக்கும்போது நான் என்னெல்லாம் எழுதுறேனோ யூ ஜஸ்ட் ஜாட் இட் டவுன், அப்புறம் ஐ வில் கலெக்ட் இட் அப்படின்னுட்டு. அப்போ அதுக்குதான் அது எழுதினேன். ஸ்பஷ்டம் கர்த்தும் ச ஏகம் மூக்கம் ஔஷதம் கிருத்வா சிஷ்யான் பிருஷ்டவான் எத் ஏத பிபன் கிம் கிம் மூர்ச்சிதம் கரோதி இது லிக்கந்து இத்தி ததேவ அச்சேதன காலே உன்மத்த பஞ்சாஷத் நாம ஸ்துதி ஸ்தோத்திரம் உக்தவான். பியூட்டிஃபுல் சோஸ்திரங்கள் அத்தனையும். அது வந்து ஒரு 50 இருக்கு. ஐ எம் அஃப்ரைட் ஐ வில் பி ஃபாலோயிங் ஷார்ட் ஆஃப் டைம். இன்னைக்கு வந்து முதல் 2-3 ஸ்லோகம் மட்டும் ஐ வில் ட்ரை டு எக்ஸ்பிளைன். I was so immersed in learning that, and Mr. T.V. சுப்பிரமணியம்னு இது ராமகிருஷ்ணா மட்டில் இருந்த அண்ணாவோட பிரதம டிசைபிள். அவர் வந்து he took classes for us and he taught us this. So இவருடைய எழுதின புஸ்தகங்களையும் I have mentioned already, அந்த 3 சமயங்களை பத்தியும். And I don't want to repeat it now, though we don't have the recording of it. I'll just pass on to the Shlokas now. அவர் வந்து அவ்வளவு மூர்ச்சிதமா இருக்கும் போதே அவ்வளவு பக்தியோட அவ்வளவுலாம் எழுதிட்டாரு. It was just amazing to the court. முதல் இது வந்து கஸ்தே போத்தும் பிரபவதி பரம் தேவ தேவ பிரபாவம் யஸ்மாதித்யம் விவதரச்சனா சிருஷ்டிரேஷா பபூவ பக்தி கிராஹ்ய ஸ்வமிக ததமி வாகவம் பக்தி மாத்ராது ஸ்தோத்தும் வாஞ்சாம் யதி மகதிதம் சாகசம் மேசகஸ்வ. இதான் அந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சோஸ்திரம். அப்ப வந்து சிவனை தான் அவர் வந்து பிரைஸ் பண்ணி பாடுறாரு. அத அந்த 50 சோஸ்திரத்திலுமே தன்னை எவ்வளவு முடியுமோ அவ்வளவு தாழ்த்திண்டு, அருணகிரிநாதர் எல்லாம் சொல்லுவாரு கடையேன் விடியேன் நாயேன் எல்லாம். அந்த மாதிரி சச்ச ஸ்காலர் சச்ச பக்திமான் அவர் வந்து அப்படி சொல்லிட்டார். அண்டம் முழுதும் அதை நான் தமிழ்ல வந்து ஒரு கவிதையா எழுதியிருக்கேன். ஐ ஜஸ்ட் வாண்ட் டு ஷேர் இட் வித் யூ so that it will be easy for you to understand. அண்டம் முழுதும் படைத்தளித்த உன் மகிமை ஆறாலே பூரணமாய் உரை செய்தல் வசமாகும். ஏர் ஊரும் சிவம் உன்னை, ஏறுங்கிறது வந்து இது ரிஷபம். ஏர் ஊரும் சிவம் உன்னை இதயத்தில் குடிவைத்து எப்போதும் துதி செய்யும் சிறுமனத்தை எள்ளாதே. என்னை டீஸ் பண்ணாதே சிவா, நான் வந்து ஐ ஹாவ் ஃபுல் பக்தி ஆன் யூ. நான் வந்து உன்னை யாரால சோஸ்திரம் பண்ண முடியும், ஐ எம் ஜஸ்ட் ட்ரையிங் திஸ் அப்படின்னு. இது வந்து ஒரு குழந்தை மணலையும் முருங்கை பூவையும் கலந்து நான் மம்மு சமைச்சிருக்கேன்னா அம்மா எப்படி என்ஜாய் பண்ணி அதை சாப்பிடுவாளோ அந்த மாதிரி சிவன் ஏத்துனதாக இதுக்கு ஒரு இது உண்டு. 2வது ஸ்லோகம் வந்து சிஷ்யாத்யாதி நமவயவதாம் நிஷ்சிதம் ஜன்மதாவது தன்னாஸ்யேவ கொச்சன கலிதம் கத்திதிஷ்டானகீனம் நாதிஷ்டாத்தும் பிரபவதி ஜடோ நாப்யனீஷஸ்ய பாவக தஸ்மாத்யாஸ்யாத் த்வமசி ஜகதாம் நாத ஜானே விதாதா. இதனோட அர்த்தம் என்னன்னா, உன் அருளால் மட்டுமே ஓராத காதலுடன் உன் மகிமை புகழ வந்தேன் உள்ளத்தில் உறைவோனே. பாண்டம் சமைத்திடவே குயவனுக்கும் உன்னருளே பல அண்டம் சமைத்தளித்த பேரருளே பரம்பொருளே. மீண்டும் மீண்டும் இதை நினைத்து வியக்கின்றேன் பரமசிவாங்கிறார். என்னன்னா, எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு உபாதான காரணம் நிமித்த காரணம்னு ஒண்ணு உண்டு. ஏதாவது if you want to create something, you have to have some raw material, you have to have the knowledge to do something. அந்த கிரியேஷனுக்கு 2 உண்டு. பட் உனக்கு ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, அவுட் ஆஃப் நத்திங் யூ கிரியேட்டட் த ஹோல் யூனிவர்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறத சொல்ற. உன் அருளால் மட்டுமே இந்த ஓராத காதலுடன் தானே அடக்க முடியாத உன் மேல உண்டான பக்தியினால உன் மகிமை புகழ வந்தேன் உள்ளத்தில் உறைவோனே. பல பாண்டம் சமைத்திடுவ. ஒரு மண்பானை சமைக்கணும்னா கூட அதுக்கு ஒரு ரா மெட்டீரியல் வேணும், அதுக்கு ஒரு குயவன் வேணும், அதுக்கு ஒரு சக்கரம் வேணும். உபாதான காரணம் நிமித்த காரணம் எல்லாம் சொல்லுவா இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி. இதுக்கு அப்படி ஒண்ணும் இல்லாம பல அண்டம் சமைத்தளித்த பேரருளே பரம்பொருளே. மீண்டும் மீண்டும் இதை நினைத்து வியக்கின்றேன் பரமசிவாங்கிற. ஐ எம் ஜஸ்ட் வாண்டரிங் ஹவு யூ மேட் ஆல் தீஸ் திங்ஸ் வித்வுட் எனி ரா மெட்டீரியல். அவர் வந்து அவர் தான் நிமித்த காரணம், அவர் தான் உபாதான காரணம். அவருக்கு வேற யாரும் அசிஸ்டன்ஸ்னு யாரும் உண்டு, மாயா மட்டும்தான் இருந்தது, பிரகிருதி அண்ட் மாயா. He did everything effortlessly without the help of anyone. 3வது இந்திரம் மித்ரம் வருணம் அனிலம் புனரஜம் விஷ்ணுமீஷம் ராகுஸ்தே பரமசிவதே மாயையா மோகிதாஸ்வாம் ஏதைஷாகம் சகலமபிய சக்திலேஷே சமாப்தம் சத்வம் தேவ சுதி விதிதத சம்புரத்யாதி தேவ. 3வது ஸ்லோகம். இது வந்து இதெல்லாம் இவர் மயக்கத்துல வளர்ற மாதிரி இவருக்கு நினைப்பு. பட் அது அவ்வளவு சோஸ்திர ரத்னங்கள். his students wrote down everything and அவருக்கே ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். முடிச்சுட்டு இதுல அந்த 50ஐயும் படிச்சு பார்த்தோன்னே அதுதான் அது ஸ்பெஷல் ஃபீச்சர் ஆஃப் இட். ஏன்னா நம்ம முடிச்சுட்டு இருக்கும் போது கவிதை எழுதுறதோ பகவானை போத்துறதோ ஒரு சோஸ்திரம் பண்றதோ இட் இஸ் நத்திங். அவருடைய பேஹோஷா இருந்த போது கூட அவருக்கு அதே இது இருந்தது, ஸ்மிருதி. இதுல என்ன அர்த்தம்னா, இந்திரன் ரவி வருணன். இந்திரன் நமக்கு தெரியும், ரவின்னா சூரியன். இந்திரன் ரவி வருணன் அக்னியுடன் பிரமனும் ரிஷிகேசன் ஈசனுமே ஒன்றாகி முயன்றிடினும் இறைவா உன் திறத்தின் ஒரு துளியே ஆவரன்றோ இங்கதனால் உன் பெயரே சம்பு என ஆனதன்றோ. சம்புனா எல்லாம் நிறைந்தவன், எல்லாரையும் ஒன் இன் எவ்ரிதிங். அது அவ்வளவு பேரோட சக்தியும் இவன்கிட்ட இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம், சிவன்கிட்ட இருக்கு அப்படின்னா. அவர் வந்து பரம சைவைட்டர். அதனால அவர் அப்படி சொல்றார். இந்திரன், ரவி, எத்தனையோ தேவர்கள் 30 முக்கோடின்னு சாஸ்திரத்தை சொல்றது. அவ எல்லாரோட சக்தியும் உன்னுடைய பிரதிபலி. they don't have anything of their own. எல்லாமே உன்னோட சக்தி இல்லையா அப்படின்னு கேட்கிற. இந்திரன், ரவி, வருணன், அக்னியுடன் பிரம்மனுமே ரிஷிகேசன் ஈசனுமே ஒன்றாகி முயன்றிடினும் இறைவா உன் திறத்தின் ஒரு துளியே அவரன்றோ, இங்கதனால் உன் பெயரே சம்பு என ஆனதன்றோ அப்படிங்கிற. அடுத்து 4வது ஸ்லோகம். ஆனந்தாத்திய கமபிச்ச ஆனந்தாத்திய கமபிச்ச கமன் பாவமாஸ்தாய ரூபம் சக்தியா சார்த்தம் பரமமுயா சாஸ்வதம் போகமிச்சன் போகமிச்சன் அத்வாதீதே சுசிதி வகுசே கோடி தீப்தே கபத்தின் ஆத்யே ஸ்தானே விகரசி சதா சேவியமானோ கணேசைங்கிற. ஆனந்த கடல் பகவான். சிவம்னாலே மங்களம், சிவம்னாலே ஆனந்தம், சச்சு சித்து ஆனந்தம் 3 சேர்ந்தவர் தான் பகவான். ஆனந்த கடலாகி அன்னையுடன் இணைந்திருந்தால் ஆனந்தம் உலகில் உள்ள அனைத்து உயிர்களுக்கும். பிகாஸ் தே ஆர் தி பேரண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் ஆல் கிரியேஷன்ஸ். ஆனந்த கடலாகி நீ அன்னையுடன் இணைந்திருந்தால் ஆனந்தம் உலகில் உள்ள அனைத்து உயிர்களுக்கும். ஆகவேதான் உம்பர் உலகாளும், உம்பர்னா தேவர்கள், உம்பர் உலகாளும் கணங்கள் எல்லாம் ஆடும் உன் பாதங்கள் சரண் என்று வாழ்த்துதுமே. அவரோட அந்த டான்ஸுங்கிறது, இந்த அசைவுகள், இந்த பூல என்னெல்லாம் ஆக்ஷன்ஸ் இருக்கோ எல்லாத்துக்கும் காரணம் இந்த சிவதாண்டவம் தான் அப்படிங்கறத அதுல சொல்றேன். அப்போ அவர் எவ்வளவு மயக்க நிலையில கூட அந்த சிவனோட சக்தியும் சிவனோட பெருமையும் அவரோட ஆக்ஷனும் அவர் மனசுல இருந்திருக்கு. துவம் வேதாந்தை பிரதிமகிமா கீயசே விஸ்வதேனக துவம் பிராத்யாயை வரதனிகிலை ஜியே கர்மபிஸ்வை தம் சுஷ்டானோ ஸ்ரவிக விஷயான் நந்த மாத்ரா விதுஷ்ணைஹி அந்தர்கிரந்தி பிரபலவிதே சிந்தியதே யோகி விருத்தைஹி. இது 5வது ஸ்லோகம். வேத அந்த உபனிஷம். வேதாந்தம் முதல்ல இதுல என்ன இருக்கு? வேதத்துல கர்ம இது மாதிரி என்னெல்லாம் யாகம், என்னெல்லாம் ஹோமம், எப்படி எல்லாம் பண்ணணுங்கிறதுலாம் தான் வேதத்துல முதல்ல இருக்கு. ஹவு டு ப்ரே காட், ஹவு டு டூ தி யக்ஞாஸ், கர்மாக்கள் நம்ம எப்படி அனுச்சரணம் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கறத முதல்ல இருக்கு. வேத அந்தம்ங்கிறது உபனிஷதங்கள். உபனிஷதம்னாலே பகவான் கிட்டக்க இருக்கிறதுன்னு அர்த்தம். சோ அதுதான் வேதாந்தம். வேதாந்தம் அப்படி பார்க்கும்போது அந்த எல்லா உபனிஷதங்களுமே என்ன சொல்றது? உன்னுடைய டெஸ்டினேஷன் டு பி வித் காட், இன்னொரு பிறவி எடுக்காம அங்க போய் சேரணும் அப்படிங்கறத நம்மளோட நோக்கமா இருக்கணும், லைஃபோட பிரின்சிபிளா இருக்கணுங்கிறதுக்கு. வேத அந்த உபனிஷதம் உன்னையே தலைவன் என்றும் விப்ரர்னா லேர்னட் மேன். வேதாந்த உபனிஷதம் உன்னையே தலைவன் என்றும் விப்ரரோ உனை நினைத்தே யாகத்தால் துதி செய்வர். எப்போதும் முக்தி ஒன்றே வேண்டும் உன் அடியவர்கள் தப்பாமல் உனை துதித்தால் கட்ட விழித்து கரை சேர்ப்பார். இந்த கட்டுங்கிறது என்னன்னா நம்மளோட ஆசைகள், நம்மளோட அட்டாச்மெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாத்தையும் கட் பண்ணி விட்டுருவ. நீ நான் ஸ்டாப்பா ஒன்ன மட்டும் நம்ம கும்பிட்டுட்டே இருந்தோம்னா யூ கேன் worship சிவா. யூ கேன் ஆல்வேஸ் பி ஹிஸ் அடிமைன்னே சொல்லலாம். சிவனுக்கு அடிமையாவே, சிவன் அடியாராவே இருந்தானா he will effortlessly and easily cut your attachments and take you with him to the divine abode. இந்த 5 ஸ்லோகத்தோட இன்னைக்கு நிறுத்திக்கலாம்னு பார்த்தேன். பூர்ணமிதம் பூர்ணாத் பூர்ணமுதச்யதே பூர்ணஸ்ய பூர்ணமாத பூர்ணமேவாவசிஷ்யதே. ஓம் சாந்தி சாந்தி சாந்தி.
தன்யவாதः கீதாமா. அவ்வளோ எக்ஸலண்ட். இட்ஸ் அ பியூர் பிளெஸிங் டுடே இன்னைக்கு எஸ்பெஷலின்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். such a beautiful program today. காமாட்சியில ஆரம்பிச்சு இன்னைக்கு we were talking about so many gods and rishis today. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி இந்த விஷயங்கள் எல்லாமே கடவுள் பக்கத்துல கொண்டு போன மாதிரி தான் இன்னைக்கு அத்தனை விஷயங்கள். காமாட்சி வந்தா, நிறைய ரிஷிகள் வந்தா, கிருஷ்ணர் வந்தார், நீங்க சிவனை கூட்டின்னு வந்துட்டேடு. பிரம்மா பத்தி அதிகம் we never, I don't know, we never speak or see him. பட் இன்னைக்கு நிறைய பிரம்மாவை பத்தி பேசியாச்சு. எக்ஸலண்ட் ப்ரோக்ராம் டுடே. அஃப்கோர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு, பட் நம்ம ஃப்ரீக்வெண்டா கேட்கறது இல்லையே. we never hear it frequently. Always we talk about Krishna and Shiva, Ambal. So it was excellent program today. And Geetha ma ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது. Thank you so much.
கேக்கோட ஐசிங் மட்டும்தான் நம்ம இன்னைக்கு விலேஜ் ஸ்பூனால எடுத்தோம். The main thing remains. Some
No
other time I
problem.
will explain. இன்னும்
நல்ல
43
விஷயங்கள்
ஸ்லோகாஸ் இருக்கு இது மாதிரி. Thank you.
பொறுமையா நிதானமாவே கேட்டு புரிஞ்சுப்போமே, தப்பு இல்ல. நம்ம அவசர அவசரமா எதுவுமே போக வேண்டாம், நல்லதுதான். இன்ஃபேக்ட் நோ வி வில் அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் இட் பெட்டர். தன்யவாதः. தேங்க் யூ மாலிதாமா.
டைம் பவுண்டும் இருக்கு இல்லையாம்மா?
ஓகே, நோ ப்ராப்ளம். தேங்க் யூ. स्वागतम शिवकुमार जी for धन्यवाद ज्ञापन.
सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. My Sanskrit is not good, so I'm doing it in English. First of all, thank you very much for delivering the vote of thanks. Thanks to Visali ji for this. We thank you on behalf of Pride Bharat Heritage for Zambia sisters for singing a prayer, and followed by Subhashitam by Shri Ramakrishnan ji. Really a resourceful gentleman. We are very thankful to him on behalf of Pride Bharat. And I also thank Shri Visali ji for delivering the welcome address. And thanks to Dr. Sushrutha ji for explaining the Bhagavad Gita Shloka in a simplest way every month. Though we have to learn more about Bhagavad Gita by continuously, hearing only. Of course, we can do it for only once in a month only. Anyway, on behalf of Pride of Bharat Heritage, Samskrita Vani, thank you very much. Next, Kumari Navneetha for Shloka chanting, excellently done by her. And we wish Kumari Navneetha to continue to participate in our program. Thank you very much, Kumari Navneetha ji. And Narasimha Purana is a continuous series by Shri Abhinav Kidambi. Very resourceful informations are shared by him. But unfortunately, we are, again I am repeating that once in a month, once only we are hearing. So, of course, hearing Purana is a continuous process. We have to hear regularly only, then only we can understand in depth of the Purana. I, on behalf of Samskrita Vani, Pride of Bharat Heritage, thank you very much. And Athmarpana Sthuthi by Appaya Deekshadhar. The point taken by Srimati Geetha Muthuswamy is excellent and very nicely narrated by her. Of course, Appaya Deekshadhar is ocean. We have to take a little pearl from the ocean only. But of course, it will take more time to learn many things, what he wrote and what he thought to on this topic. Thank you very much, Mata. ரொம்ப நமஸ்காரங்கள், வணக்கங்கள் அவரோட. Finally, this by way of doing nice anchoring by Srimati Mathangi Suresh. No words to say because that she is expert in this, and I have no suitable words to convey this. But anyhow, thank you, Mata. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Dhanyavadaha Sivakumar ji. Always you have been a great support for Samskrita Vani. Dhanyavadaha. Shanti Mantra. Who will give Shanti Mantra? Visali?
Shloka ji will get.
Okay. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
धन्यवादः सर्वेषां दर्शकानां प्रतिभागिनां च कृते शुभरात्रि।